2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
To infinity and beyond.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
From the Play Show, yet not overly ostentatious studios of the Infinity Sports Network here in beautiful New York City, sitting on top of the 10th floor of 345 Hudson Street. Welcome on in to a Football Friday edition of the Zach Gelb Show across all of our great local Infinity Sports Network affiliates, Sirius XM, Channel 375, the free Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and streaming live on YouTube. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476 is the number to jump on in. You could always get at me on Instagram, where I'm straight flexing, or via the good old cesspool of Twitter, at Zach Gelb. That's ZachGelb. Sean Sharif is going to join us coming up 20 minutes from now, the host of Sean and RJ on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. I wonder what we're going to talk to him about. Well, it's the Dallas Cowboys trading Micah Parsons yesterday to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Keith Bullock is going to stop by at 4 p.m. Eastern time, the former NFL linebacker. And then the Snowman, Dion Dawkins, will be in the building joining us at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So looking forward to catching up with my buddy, Dion Dawkins. I did talk to Kenny Clark today. I exchanged a few messages with him as he was making his way to Dallas. He's already spoke to their media. But when I talked to him, he had genuine excitement about going to the Dallas Cowboys, and I think he's looking forward to showing the rest of the world for a guy that's been in the league now for a long time, coming out of UCLA and has made a few Pro Bowls, being a 3-time Pro Bowler. But I think he's looking forward to showing the world the type of player that he can be. And I do think, this kind of gets lost in the shuffle, that Kenny Clark is an extremely underrated player, even for being a 3-time Pro Bowler. Now, with that being said, I still feel this way as I felt yesterday. And as I said it, the moment when Samter said to me, the return is 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons and Kenny Clark, I still think it's an underwhelming return. I still don't think it is enough if you're going to trade a star pass rusher who's in his prime at the age of 26 years old in Micah Parsons. I think it's a good starting offer. Like, hey, if Brian Gutekunst called me up and I was Jerry Jones, and Brian Gutekunst said, hey, 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, it's a good starting offer. But I need something more than that. I'm not saying it has to be a lot more, but just like a little bit more. And after I did go back and I heard the entirety of Jerry Jones' press conference with Stephen Jones, and you think more about this, you break it down in a few ways. The Cowboys are big losers here. In the moment, like in the immediate aftermath, 24 hours after the scene of the crime and you're investigating it, the Cowboys are still the loser in the immediate aftermath. Maybe long term, they go out there with these 2 first-round picks that they've acquired, and they draft 2 studs, and also with their own first-round picks, they draft 2 studs as well. You get 4 great players. You got Kenny Clark, and you're going out there, and the money that you would have allocated for Micah Parsons, which, give credit to David Malagueta, he's a big winner here. $47 million a year he got his client in Micah Parsons. Right? Maybe you end up drafting right. You hit on all these guys, and boom, you get the last laugh. But right now, as the body is starting to get cold, the Cowboys lost. Because what are the Cowboys going to be this year? I think at best the Cowboys are an 8-win team now. I think before this trade, they were an 8 to 10-win team. Now at best, they're an 8-win team. They're in that range of probably the floor is 6, the ceiling is 8. So they're really not going anywhere. So David Malagueta is a winner. Jerry Jones today is a loser. The Dallas Cowboys today are a loser because I thought they should have got more. And I understand it's 2 first-round picks. I understand Kenny Clark. I don't think there's a bigger fan of Kenny Clark on national radio than me. All right? I understand they got a nice return. But they could have got a lot more. Micah's 26. And you know what? Micah's a big winner. Forget the money. I know it's $47 million a year. We'll give the credit to David Malagueta for that. But Micah Parsons is now in the Green Bay Packers. And is it a slam dunk that the Green Bay Packers win a Super Bowl this year? No. Is it a slam dunk that the Green Bay Packers win the NFC North this year? No. But the Green Bay Packers have a much better chance of not only making the postseason, but capturing a Lombardi trophy than the team that Micah Parsons was just traded from, and that's the Dallas Cowboys. So think about Micah Parsons. He got $47 million a year. He got a 4-year contract, $188. He got traded to a better team. He's still a great player in his prime at 26, and he has a legitimate chance to go win a Super Bowl. Where in Dallas, what was the legitimate chance or what was the apex for them this season? Maybe making the playoffs? Maybe winning a playoff game? Remember, this is an organization, they have not been to a Super Bowl or even an NFC Championship game since the 1995 season. And I also think, because I have a take that maybe a lot of people haven't been saying or haven't heard it yet, which I'll get to in just a bit. But I want to highlight one other person too. And you get a trade like this, and it has to deal with the Cowboys. There's really 2 people that we're talking about yesterday and today. It's Micah Parsons and it's Jerry Jones. Like, if you dumb this down, it's Micah won, Jerry lost. But when you further go through this and you see how Micah won and how Jerry lost, I think we got to give an ample amount of credit to the general manager of the Green Bay Packers and Brian Gutekunst. Now, I know someone will sit there and be like, Zach, come on, you could have made that deal. 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. You gave up something, but you could have given up a lot more. I'll say it again. That should have been the starting offer, not the final offer. If I'm Dallas, that's a nice starting offer, not the final offer. But the reason why I want to give an ample amount of credit to Brian Gutekunst is because I remember the night he drafted Jordan Love. I was doing the draft show right here on our network. It was not a popular decision. He was starting the end of the era of one Aaron Rodgers. He was eviscerated. And look who's now standing in a better position. Brian Gutekunst is in a better position today. Brian Gutekunst got Jordan Love to hit. Now, he's good. We'll see if he can be great. Brian Gutekunst now has Micah Parsons. Brian Gutekunst now has the Packers at least in the Super Bowl contending conversation. And this guy was the village idiot. He was the biggest moron. He was the biggest dope when he elected to draft Jordan Love. He also got Josh Jacobs to Green Bay. He also got Xavier McKinney to Green Bay. So has he been perfect? No. But you fast forward years later, Brian Gutekunst, Goody as they like to call him, he's a massive winner. Not just a winner, but right now in public perception, a massive winner. And yes, we know you're in Titletown. Yes, we know where you're playing. You're with the Green Bay Packers. You got to go win a championship. Duh. But a few years ago, we didn't know where this was going. We thought it was going south. And he has found a way to at least continue to give the Packers a chance to add on to their great legacy. Now, here's the take that I'll advance this conversation moving forward. Because if you were listening to us yesterday, whether it's on the free Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, Sirius XM 375, or one of our great local Infinity Sports Network affiliates, or streaming on YouTube, Samter, right, broke the news to me. I was doing a little segment on Micah Parsons, and Samter goes, uh-oh, Ian Rappaport. And I go, is this real? Is this a real blue check mark? Like, make sure you verify it. Don't just spew nonsense. And he goes, yeah. Micah Parsons has been traded from the Cowboys to the Packers, and we didn't know what the return was. And then we found out the return was 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. So right now, we have a situation where the Cowboys are not a contender. The Cowboys are not going to be a playoff team this year. The Cowboys are probably going to be in a range of 6 to 8 wins, and maybe it's worse than that. But the Dallas Cowboys right now are setting themselves up for the future. Stop this win now nonsense. They are retooling for the future. They are rebuilding. And they have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. And they need to hit on at least 3 of those first-round picks for this to work long-term. And maybe in a few years from now, we're sitting there and saying, oh, Jerry Jones actually did a good job. Just like when everyone destroyed Brian Gutekunst a few years ago for drafting Jordan Love, now people say, oh, Brian Gutekunst has done a good job. But in the immediate aftermath, Jerry Jones does not look good today. Jerry Jones today, he initially lost the battle. There's no way to defend Jerry Jones right now for this. But I'm going to take this the next step further. You're telling me a general manager and the owner of the Dallas Cowboys who loves drama and loves stirring it up, you're telling me that he has 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. I know they just got the deal done last year with Dak Prescott. You're telling me he's not taking 1 quarterback? In the next 4 first-round picks that they have over the span of 2 years, are you going to sit there and seriously tell me, and Dak's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback, and this guy's making $60 million a year, you're telling me that Jerry Jones isn't going to take at least 1 quarterback? 1 quarterback. He absolutely will. So right now, Dak Prescott, he's on the clock. And I know he just signed a new extension. I know that was last year, week 1. Day of the season started. But this is what's going to happen. 1 of 2 things. Either Dak Prescott is going to see the beginning of his end in Dallas in the 2026 draft, or it's going to be the 2027 draft. Because if they take a quarterback with one of those 2 first-round picks in the 2026 draft, it works out for the Cowboys. You take a quarterback, you have him sit for a year, and then you trade Dak before the start of the 2027 season. And if you wait until to take that quarterback in the first round in the 2027 draft, then you immediately trade Dak Prescott. But I'm sitting here today, the day after the Micah Parsons trade, and I hear Jerry Jones talk about how they paid Dak Prescott, how they sat there and they paid CeeDee Lamb, and right, they wouldn't have traded Micah if they didn't pay Dak, and they believe in Dak, blah, blah, blah. I call hogwash on that. I call baloney. You now have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. You could get even more capital back when you trade Dak Prescott. And you reset the clock, and you get a young quarterback, whether that's in the 2026 or 2027 draft. I really do believe by the start of the 2027 season, Dak Prescott will not be on the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott's a free agent in 2029. It lines up, folks. I know he just signed a new deal. And maybe Jerry says, okay, I'll draft that quarterback first round 2026. If so, you draft the quarterback, Dak plays one more year, he sits, he learns, then he takes over 2027. Or you wait until the 2027 draft, you take your quarterback then, and then you trade Dak while he still has the 2027 year left on his contract and the 2028 year. I am really, really, really starting to think that yesterday was the beginning of the end of the Dak Prescott era with the Dallas Cowboys. And he'll be off this team by the start of the 2027 season. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Let's go to Ed in Pennsylvania. He's first up on the Zach Gelb Show. Ed, what's shaking? Good afternoon.
Hey, Zach, I think we're on the same page. I didn't really hear much of that in between the waiting on hold, but your call screener told me that Dak Prescott just signed a new deal, which I forgot about, but I think they are going to everybody's going to compete for Arch Manning, but I think they're in a position to maybe compete for Manning.
Yeah, and if Arch comes out in 2026, all right, you could draft him, have him sit a year, and I think the Mannings will be fine with that, and then you trade Dak in 2027. But I think Arch, and Drew Brees even said this to me the other day, he would advise Arch to go back for another season. So if that's the case, you get him in 2027, even better, and then you trade Dak. And I'm looking at the dead cap money and appreciate the phone call, Ed, and obviously, whenever there's a big name, it's going to be linked to the Dallas Cowboys, and Arch would make a ton of sense. But you look at the dead cap for this season, $180 million for Dak Prescott, roughly on Spotrac. Then it's $129 for 2026. The reason why I keep on saying for 2027, it goes down to $55 million. 10 years ago, that'd be inconceivable to trade a guy with a dead cap of $55 million. But we've seen quarterbacks go for that. We've seen quarterbacks get traded with big contracts. And then after that, in 2028, it drops down to $32 million. So that 2027 season is the one I start to circle where it's manageable, where you could use your young quarterback in a draft pick and then trade Dak Prescott before the start of the 2027 season. Let's go to Mac in New York, next up on the Zach Gelb Show. Mac, what's shaking? Mac going once. Mac going twice.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Mac. Yep.
Hey, what's up, man?
Mac, go ahead.
Yeah.
All righty, Mac. Your phone line sucks, but we appreciate you calling in. 15 after the hour, it is the Zach Gelb Show on the Infinity Sports Network. We will take a timeout. When we come on back, Sean Sharif is going to join us. He interviews Jerry Jones in football season each and every week. Sean and RJ, 105.3 The Fan. Sean Sharif joins us next. But first, college football is back. Think you know the game? Put your knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big payouts. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code GELB. That's code GELB, G-E-L-B, for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Must be present in state where it is lawful to wager. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets are non-cash credits that expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Zach Gelb Show.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on the Infinity Sports Network. You know the news by now. It was announced yesterday. And, man, it sent shockwaves across the entire NFL world. Micah Parsons leaving Dallas. He's now a Green Bay Packer. He now has a 4-year contract for $188 million. And the Cowboys get back 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Sean Sharif does a great job. Sean and RJ on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. And he's kind enough to join us right now. Sean, how you been, my friend?
I'm tired.
So
very tired.
You know, you go back to the weekend. There's all these social media rumors. Oh, Micah Parsons going to get traded to the Packers. But it wasn't anything credible. And then yesterday in the afternoon, you get that Schefter report. Oh, the Cowboys are starting to listen to offers. And then boom, at about 5 p.m. Eastern, the trade is done. 2 first-round picks going back to the Cowboys, and Kenny Clark, and Micah Parsons has that new contract with the Packers. When that news dropped, what was the initial reaction when you found out all that yesterday?
Stunned. I'm seeing my radio future flash before my eyes, and everyone's like, go to Dallas-Fort Worth, top 5 market, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Luka Doncic, Micah Parsons, Corey Seager probably gone for the year. Like my radio life with the ratings flashing before my eyes right there. That's what I was thinking about. And then I because it's not a total shock, right? Everyone's comparing it to Luka today. This doesn't touch the Luka vitriol. It doesn't even sniff it. Doesn't even come close. And you had the great clip of asking Micah about it because we saw this as a possibility. And then I'm waiting for more to come back in the return. Okay, not just 2 firsts. Okay, not just a defensive tackle who's 30. Like, can I get a second rounder? Can I get an extra third rounder? And then it went to, where's my excitement for the regular season starting in a few days against the defending champs? I had the Cowboys as a possible fringe playoff team at like 9-8. That is now out the window and totally gone in my mind. So that's where I've been. I've been angry, sad, confused, and stunned over losing 2 generational Hall of Famers in a year's time here.
What has the fan reaction been? You're 100% right. I was stunned. I didn't even know Luka Doncic was a possibility of getting traded, and they clearly did not get enough back. The way I've been saying it here on this Micah Parsons trade, it's a good starting offer in the return if you're going to trade him. But you're right. I needed a little bit more. I needed something else there, even if it was an additional first-round pick, like a second or a third. But it's not as if the Cowboys got robbed in terms of the return. The fan reaction today, are people angry? Are people just happy to be done with this? What was the majority of the fans' takes today when you did your show?
You know, it was not as angry as I thought it was going to be. I thought, we don't take a ton of calls, but we took a lot of calls today, and I thought it was going to be yelling and screaming and rage. Now, look, some of that is the bandwagon aspect of fans, right? Once he's gone and he had demanded Luka got blindsided. So Luka's going to be loved here forever, just like Dirk, because he got stabbed in the back and he was devastated when he went to L.A. Micah asked for it, but still around 85% of people were supporting him at the time because Jerry Jones isn't giving him what's obvious to everybody. But as this went on, people started bringing up Micah's old quotes of, I don't need to be the highest paid. People started saying you need to change representation. Where's he in big games? 1 sack in 4 playoff games. He's a diva, the podcast. So as this thing went on, Zach, for like 3 weeks, however the hell long it's been, people got tired of it, and the Mavericks lost that benefit of like having that out there for a while, shopping him. This had been out there, so I think people were ready. Now, you still have people who think they got ripped off. Jerry Jones is terrible. But you had a decent amount of Cowboy fans today who were excited to rebuild because a lot of them can't stand Dak Prescott. And now the new big thing today is Arch Manning next year or the year after.
Well, that's what I led the show with today because we were on yesterday while the news broke. And I said, I look at the Dak contract, 2027, when the dead cap falls to like $55 million, is what I circle. And you have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. I got to think Jerry's taking a quarterback. Now, if he takes him in 2026, okay. You could have a quarterback sit for a year, Dak play 2026, you trade Dak in 2027. But if they wait until 2027 to use one of those first-round picks to go get to go get a quarterback, then you just trade Dak right after that. So I think Dak is off this team by the start of the 2027 season. Yourself?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. And then you got Todd McShay. We do this with basketball drafts. Like, there's the LeBron year, and there's the Scoot Henderson year, and 3 years from now, that's the draft. Well, Todd McShay yesterday was doing that about the 2027 class. Like, this is really the class. Here's the problem, though, Zach. In addition to if you think the Cowboys didn't get enough, nobody trusts this team to spend. Nobody trusts this team to do the right things with the draft picks. They number one 4th picks away into the toilet. Trey Lance, Mingo. Like, this is not trustworthy for this team to do the right thing with the 4 picks. Yesterday, Jerry was trying to bring up freaking Herschel Walker by saying, we could turn these picks into 4 picks, 5 picks. But I'm with you. I think the big splash trade up, maybe something, down the line, depending on who comes out. But having all this money, second most cap space in the NFL behind New England, The Cowboys don't spend. They didn't think Derrick Henry was worth it. They've struck out. It's got to be a bargain bin. Micah was probably afraid to give up money because he didn't trust them spending. Dak was afraid to give up money because he didn't trust Stephen Jones to go ahead and spend in the right places. So that's part of my fear that comes with this, even though it's a good financial situation.
Was what you guys had out there, I saw on social media on 105.3 The Fan, was that the last offer that Jerry Jones made to Micah? Was it 5 years? Where it was about $40.5 million a year, and ultimately he got $4 for $47 a year. Was that the final offer that the Cowboys made?
So I think the Cowboys. So last night I was of the opinion. Jerry last night said the most important sentence. I stopped where they started.
Okay.
That made me believe, right? And then others were reporting it was 40.5 for 5 years. Micah wanted 4 to get back to market. Right? He's talked about not wanting to play well past 30 and all that. Micah wanted 4, got 47. I'm not blaming Jerry Jones for not paying Micah Parsons $47 million. That's just me. Part of that is Dak, Lamb, Diggs. They can't afford it. They messed up with the Dak and Diggs deals. And then I don't know if any defensive players we're going to jump the market by $6 million. If I'm going to get mad at Jerry, I'm mad at him for not signing him last year when every other damn team in the National Football League would have done it. They were just cap hamstrung. You should have done it last year when maybe you were still in the 30s. But paying him 47 right now, I'm not killing Jerry for that. What we found out possibly this morning, we're trying to get confirmation. This is Nick Eatman, DallasCowboys.com. Nick was hearing that not only did the Cowboys offer him more guaranteed money, I think we're talking about 160 versus like 136 he got. Nick had been hearing that back in March and April, they had offered him 43, 44 a year. If that's true, I'm absolving Jerry Jones of, again, if that's true, I'm not saying it is, I'm absolving Jerry of any blame. Any blame. This is before the insults. This is before the back and forth. 43, 44 a year. I think it was before TJ got paid. So you would have jumped the market even more. But even if it was after TJ, I can't remember. I think it was before TJ.
Yeah, it would be before if it was an agent.
Yeah, so you went over whoever previous deal that was. I think it was Miles by 3 or 4 million, gave him more guaranteed than what he got yesterday from the Packers. I could never blame Jerry Jones for offering that, and I would put all the blame on Micah for turning that down if it's true, and we're still working to confirm it.
Now, I know you said this stuff was before the shots at the agent, but the shots at the agent, was that really the end of this relationship? Because we've seen, like, Dak go through a muddy contract situation, but Dak just seemed numb to all this stuff. And he said, this is what happens when you're the quarterback of the Cowboys. Micah did the rare thing where you didn't really see it with CD. You didn't really see it from Dak from what I remember. Micah kind of fought back because I think Jerry made it personal after, A, pretend to not know who his agent is, and then also saying he's not dealing with the agent to make the deal.
Have you been watching The Gambler?
Yeah, it was great.
I think my theory, this is a theory, that Jerry Jones doing this on Netflix kind of brought up some old things he has lived by. And you see how big loyalty is, right? He couldn't even put Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor when it was obvious to everyone. He had to meditate over Jimmy. You've seen these episodes, right? And he'll go to the grave still mad at Jimmy Johnson to a degree. When Micah Parsons went in his office, got a cell phone, which only 3 people have, he said, on that have played for him. Micah initiated the negotiations, in Jerry's mind, then lied about it in the trade request. Micah Parsons made it seem like, and I don't know who's right or wrong, Micah made it seem like Jerry lured him in with a Wisconsin piece of cheese and put it in a trap and then slammed the prison door shut and tricked him and manipulated him into a negotiation when they were supposed to be talking about leadership. That probably infuriated Jerry Jones. Jerry told Stephen A. Smith, he came into my office, not once, he left, adjusted the contract demands, I met them, then he reneged after 2 meetings, then called me and said, don't call me anymore. If you watch The Gambler and he keeps talking about loyalty, I could see that point right there severing things. And then I also think this damn Herschel trade was bad for Cowboy fans being reincarnated and being brought back up, because yesterday he dropped the Herschel thing as if this is anywhere near the same galaxy. So my theory is the Gambler, and talking about all that stuff and watching it, had him thinking about Micah Parsons as Herschel Walker and thinking about Micah Parsons' betrayal as Jimmy Johnson.
You know, another thing from the Gambler, Sean Sharif is here with us from the Fan in Dallas, Zach Gelb Show, Infinity Sports Network. When they were rehashing when Troy decided to retire, I thought that was the most damaging part, because he basically said, hey, we know who runs the team, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't see the vision. So I'll ask this question today in the year of 2025. After trading Micah Parsons, what the F is the vision of the Dallas Cowboys with Jerry Jones for the next few years?
This is the top two. This is the second most depressing thing the regular season is depressing for me right now. The timing of it is infuriating. And the most confusing part is the damn direction. You cannot pay Dak Prescott 60, give Lamb 30, give Diggs 20, trade for Pickens, and then trade your best player days before the season. That is a zigging and a zagging, and it is ridiculous. It's malpractice, and now people think they're getting ready for a rebuild. They were supposed to be in a 2-year Dak. I'm holding my kid's pig toy. Sorry, I got to throw this away. We're supposed to be in a 2-year Dak Prescott window, Zach. This is 2 years and then move on. You already laid out Arch. You already laid out the next quarterback, the draft picks to use. And now all of a sudden you're giving away your best player, trading away your best player after making win-now decisions. I'm totally with you. That is maddening because it's inconsistent in terms of a direction of a plan.
When Micah comes back, because that's a home game coming up on September 28th in Dallas, Sunday Night Football on NBC. What's the reaction inside that stadium when Micah Parsons runs onto the field?
Great question. I think he's going to get booed. People are not happy about the back. I don't begrudge Micah Parsons for the BS back. He did what he had to do. He felt disrespected. Jerry Jones insulted him, went out of his way to insult him, unlike any other negotiation I've covered here with Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, Dak. I thought he took it way over the line with Micah. But people are not happy about the back. People are not happy that he lied, and he did lie about taking less money. I don't need to be the highest paid. I can have people around me. I want help. And then people didn't like the podcast stuff, right? You know how it goes. If you win the Super Bowl, no one gives an S. And then when you lose and you struggle and you're buddy-buddy with everyone, then all of a sudden it's a distraction. So my guess right now is Micah gets booed. The majority of boos when he returns.
But booing Micah, in a way, is an endorsement of Jerry Jones. And that's a thing to me. I think we're now in an era where people are just numb to what Jerry does. And when he does it over and over again, yes, it creates a stir. Yes, we talk about it. But at this point, this is what people expect out of Jerry. And that's the sad part for Jerry, is now you've done this for so many years where people go, oh, it's old man Jerry Jones just doing a bunch of crazy things again.
Jerry Jones' greatest achievement is having this team be as popular as they are without not even coming close to winning for 30 years. That, like taking over the Cowboys, you watch the beginning of The Gambler, that stuff is awesome. But here's another lesson from, and now I have like a chicken or a duck. Sorry. Here's another lesson from The Gambler. I think because of Jerry's early success, right? Fighting the NFL, getting sued for $300 million, surviving it, winning, being the Arkansas hick coming in that everyone hated. What he did with Tom Landry and Jimmy Johnson, Zach, is Nico Luka times 500 here. The Dallas Cowboys, Tom Landry, he survived it. He won. He gets rid of Jimmy Johnson. You're a moron. He said, anyone can win the Super Bowl. I can bring in anyone. He proved it with Switzer. So he won the Switzer battle. He won the Landry to Jimmy battle. He overcame the dumb hick. He brought Nike in. He brought Fox in. Fox is the stepchild. You're probably too young for this. Fox is the nasty, salacious Simpsons and Married with Children and boobs and all this and burping and beer. And Jerry Jones won all that. So when we criticize him, he goes, you really think that what y'all are talking to me about, our blow up last year on the radio was over like Derrick Henry. He's like, you little peons criticizing me over this? I've been through wars. I've been through like capital WARS. And unfortunately, I think those wars he won 30 years ago caused him to be so stubborn and resistant to real actual change right now.
Let's just say, this is the last thing I'll ask you, Sean Sharif, from 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. You guys talk to Jerry Jones, as you alluded to, each and every week in football season. Let's say the Packers come into town on September 28th, and they smack around the Dallas Cowboys. The easy question the next day to ask, and the obvious question is, hey, Jerry, do you regret trading Micah Parsons after the beatdown that he just put on your football team? How do you think Jerry Jones will end up answering that? Will he hang up on you guys?
He'll say no before the question gets out. Are you kidding me? Jerry Jones, he wouldn't even come on and say sorry to us after he threatened to get us fired when he didn't own the radio station, called us yahoos later on at night to Jared Bell USA Today. He's not going to. He said last night, they asked, you have any regrets? It took this long for him to show and admit some Jimmy regrets. He ain't going to sit there and admit any regret over that deal, no matter what Green Bay does. But I'll tell you one damn thing, as I'm looking at this schedule, they better be 2-2 before that Packer game. They got to be 4-2 to have any, in my opinion, hope of the playoffs. At Philly, everyone's going to have that as a loss. You somehow lose to the Giants, Zach. You somehow start off 0-2, and then kind of an up-and-coming Chicago team. Oh, my goodness. Poor Brian Schottenheimer. You better be 2-1 by the time that Packer game comes. Then you get the Jets and Carolina. That should be 4-2 before Washington, Denver, and then the end of their schedule is really, really tough. But, ooh, that Giant game, early pressure, in my opinion.
He is Sean Sharif. Does a great job. Sean and RJ, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, and he also has some of the best kid toys around, as we found out during this interview. Sean, appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Keep killing it.
You got it. There he is, the great Sean Sharif. Sean and RJ, 105.3 The Fan. We'll take a break. We'll come on back. We asked the poll question, did the Cowboys get enough for Micah Parsons in that trade? We'll give you the early returns next. Update time first. Here's Pete McCarthy.
Infinity Sports Network Sports Flash.
All right, Zach, at the U.S. Open, American Ben Shelton splits the first two sets against Adrian Manarino as they are all looking to advance into the fourth round in Flushing Meadows. In the third set, Shelton has a 3-2 lead on Manarino. Francis Tiafoe's just underway in his match against Jan-Lennard Struff. Novak Djokovic and American Taylor Fritz are the headliners in separate matches tonight. Carlos Alcaraz advances to the fourth round with a straight-set victory over Luciano Darderi. As for the women, Jessica Pegula, the American, with a 6-1, 7-5 win over Victoria Azarenka. She is on to the fourth round. Americans Ann Lee, Emma Navarro, and Taylor Townsend all have matches coming up. The Patriots are releasing veteran safety Jabril Peppers. Dolphins outside linebackers coach Ryan Crow was arrested early this morning on a domestic battery charge. The Dolphins have placed Crow on administrative leave. And Mariners outfielder Victor Robles has been suspended 7 games following his appeal of an original 10-game suspension. I'm Pete McCarthy.
Hey, it's Perloff from the Maggie and Perloff Show. Get all your sports talk here on the Infinity Sports Network. Always available on the free Odyssey app.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
You're listening to the Zach Gelb Show.
Zach Gelb Show, Infinity Sports Network. Keith Bullock, former NFL linebacker, joining us 12 minutes from now. Dion Dawkins from the Buffalo Bills stops by today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time. It's time to Ask the Pros, where the listener gets asked us a question brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply tweet your question at INF Sportsnet or at Zach Gelb using the hashtag Ask the Pros. Be listening later in the show. We might answer your question. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Do you think the Cowboys got enough for Micah Parsons in their trade with the Packers? Super duper early return. 79% say no. 21% say yes. When I think of callers with the Dallas Cowboys at 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476, I think of Francois in Dallas. He's been calling us for years to talk about the Cowboys, and he's with us once again right now. Francois, how you been?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing fantastic. What do you got for us today?
Fabulous. And if you'll give me a little bit of reprieve, I'd appreciate it. And also, if you could put me on hold so I could hear your response afterwards, I'd appreciate it as well. I'm a Cowboys supporter, not a Cowboy fan. Big, big difference. So I don't drink the Kool-Aid. I absolutely love it because through someone I know that's privy to conversations with the players, and this was last year, players within the organization were saying that Parsons, this is last year, that Parsons was a headache. All he wants to do is rush the passer. He doesn't want to play off the ball, right? And there were some reports similar to that about the type of attitude he had last year. Now, you spin it forward to this year. They get 2 number ones. Obviously, that's 4 number 1 picks in 2 years. And they get the defensive tackle that will help them inside. Am I saying that it's going to make my championship team? Obviously not. But Parsons is not going to make the Packers a championship team. He'd make them better, obviously. But they weren't a championship team with or without Parsons.
Well, I would say this about the Packers. I think the Packers are a good team without Micah Parsons. I think they get thrown into being a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if they're going to win it, but I think that they are competing for a championship for the next 2 to 3 years when you get a player like Micah Parsons. And I'll speculate a little bit. I'll dance with you here, Francois, in terms of what you heard about players and what they said about Micah Parsons. If I had to take a guess, like if what you're saying is true, that there were players in that locker room that were fed up with Micah Parsons, my first guess, without hesitation, would be someone that's not on the team anymore. But it would be longtime, former Dallas Cowboy in DeMarcus Lawrence, because we've seen those two go back and forth on social media publicly whenever DeMarcus Lawrence elected to leave the Cowboys. And there was some stuff said even 2 years ago after the Packers beat the Cowboys in that playoff game. So I would assume that would be coming from mainly DeMarcus Lawrence would be my guess.
Right, and that's a good guess, but no cigar. Obviously, Tank
you know the players?
Well, let's just say I had inside information last year, but my point is that Tank and Micah, when you got 2 alphas, somebody's got to go.
And they're both gone.
Tank right, and Tank was at the end of his career, and he wasn't a better football player than Micah. So I think some of that was his ego, because Tank, I never had a whole lot of respect for Tank anyway, because he couldn't rush the passer, right? So I'm just saying, I don't think the Packers can beat. I think you better watch San Francisco. Be careful with Kyle Shanahan. They can't beat the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Jordan Love is not playing at a championship level, and he wasn't last year. But the Cowboys, as a supporter, I will say this. I think they'll be better than people think they're going to be.
So how many wins we talking?
How
many wins you talking then? If you think the Cowboys will be better than what people think, how many wins do you think they're going to be, Francois, this year? Just
I went out on a limb before training camp, and even now, I still say that they'll wind up 10-7.
10-7.
I think because Parsons is, I think they're 10. And you know what? I could be wrong, but I can also be right. And I'll say this and let you go.
Yeah.
You got to see if Nealon can play. You got to see if Williams can play. They do have depth at defensive end, right? And what people forget is the linebacker they drafted out of Notre Dame is an absolute monster and can rush the passer. So now that you add the tackle, who's a Pro Bowler in 2023, you've got the makings of a pretty good defensive football team. I'd say hopefully about top 8. The offense is obvious. I think they'll score points. The key is going to be can they stop people from scoring on them. I appreciate your time.
You got it, Francois. Always a great phone call. And, that could be something that maybe we're overlooking. I don't know how much of a problem Micah Parsons was in the locker room. I'm not going to sit here and say he was a problem in the locker room fully. But let me just dance here with Francois. If Micah Parsons was an issue, even though he's an extremely talented player, maybe the team camaraderie is better with the Cowboys. If they get 10 wins now, I'll be shocked. Yesterday, I was trying to be as generous as possible, and I was only able to get 8 wins. Before this trade, and you told me the Cowboys were 9-8, 10-7, I would not tell you it's impossible. But right now, I would be very surprised if the Cowboys make the playoffs. And I would be very surprised if we're sitting here talking about at the end of the season the Cowboys being a 10-win team. But we got Francois on the record there with a prediction, and always appreciate when he gives us a call at 888-710-4ISN, and you could do so as well, 888-710-4476. The bottom line here is when I asked the question, do you think the Cowboys got enough for Micah Parsons in their trade with the Packers? I don't think they got enough. It's a good starting point, 2 first-round picks, and Kenny Clark. But I think you could have got more than that. I really do. We've seen lesser players get traded for more than what Micah Parsons got the Dallas Cowboys in return. And I don't know how much shopping did go on. I heard Jerry say other teams were interested. But how that's all you get for a player who's 26, and it's not nothing, right? But that's all you get? I thought you could have got more. All right, it is Zach Gelb Show right here on the Infinity Sports Network. Dion Dawkins going to join us coming up an hour from now at 5 p.m. Eastern. Syracuse, they do play this weekend up against Tennessee. Former Syracuse player Keith Bullock will join us next. He played in the NFL with the Tennessee Titans as a linebacker. We'll get his thoughts on Cam Ward and so much more. And, of course, we'll ask him about the biggest story of the day. I know it happened yesterday, but even the day after, it's still the biggest story in the sports world right now, even with college football started up. Micah Parsons traded to the Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
To infinity and beyond.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show.
All righty, welcome back in. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on the Infinity Sports Network. We should be joined, hopefully, momentarily by Keith Bullock. So we're looking forward to that conversation. Dion Dawkins is going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern today, 2 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live, obviously, on YouTube, Sirius XM 375, the free Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and also you can listen to us on your local Infinity Sports Network affiliate. Let me play this back to you. We played this to you yesterday. I just want to dissect it even more today. Did Micah Parsons maybe know something here? This was February. This was at the Super Bowl. This was in the aftermath of the entire trade that did go down, where we saw Luka Doncic get dealt from the Dallas Mavericks. And this is my back and forth exchange with Micah Parsons.
What was your first reaction to seeing Luka get traded to the Lakers?
And my mouth dropped. And I got scared myself. I said, am I the next person in Dallas? You know, because you really never know what happens. And obviously, I had the ankle thing this year, and I thought that was the reason why I thought it was so important to get back because – you know, your best ability is availability, and the fact that they didn't appreciate Luka for all he's done for them, taking them to a conference final. I would have, the finals, and doing all he did and being a 5-time All-NBA just wasn't enough. And I think that's extremely disappointing. I think when you invest in a player, and he's showing you so much love and did so much for your program, you would think the loyalty is still right there back, and obviously you see these sports it isn't, so it's super frustrating and sad. It makes you sad.
Well, you got 1 year left on your deal. Do you think the loyalty will be there for you? Do you expect to get something done with the Cowboys this offseason?
I would hope so.
So there's no trade requests coming from you. I know, right? People see Myles Garrett with the trade request the other day. People go, oh, I wonder if Micah's going to follow suit there.
No, I don't plan on following suit. As long as I get a deal done, I think I'll be pretty happy.
I still think that's telling when you look back at it, because I was always blown away by the initial response. Oh, Luka was traded, and Micah said to me, I thought maybe I could be next. And then, okay, are you going to force a trade? No, I don't plan on forcing a trade as long as my deal gets taken care of. So I thought Micah was pretty honest in that exchange. Now, there's other things, he should have taken less and what people get into. But I don't fault Micah Parsons here. I fault Jerry Jones. I think Jerry Jones in the wrong here. Micah Parsons obviously won. He got $47 million a year from the Green Bay Packers, and he has a better chance of going out there and win. So that's the way that I look at this when you do reflect and you look back on this entire situation. Jerry Jones in the immediate aftermath loss. We'll see what he turns this out to be. Is Dak Prescott even going to be on the team a few years from now with all this draft capital? And Micah Parsons has a chance to go win a Super Bowl. All righty, let's go out to the guest line right now. Syracuse kicks off its football season tomorrow. Syracuse up against Tennessee. The Volunteers are ranked in the top 25 at 24. It's the Aflac Kickoff Series, 12 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And someone who's going to be a captain is the former Syracuse player in Keith Bullock, and he's kind enough to join us right now. Keith, appreciate the time. How you been?
I've been great. Appreciate you having me on.
Well, there's so much excitement with this Syracuse program. I've known Fran Brown and Elijah Robinson for years. I saw that Dwight Freeney now is going to be involved back with the program too. You being someone that played there, seeing the year that Syracuse had, new staff, new energy, what's kind of your feeling going into this year with Syracuse as they enter year 2 of the Fran Brown era?
It's definitely optimism. Just like last year, Fran was great to have 10-3 season last year. I got to spend some time around Fran and the team last year and saw, what he was instilling into the program, being someone that hadn't been around the program in a good, 15, 20 years. Fran Brown, brings that confidence and that enthusiasm that, I remember from the days when I was there with McNabb. You mentioned one of my teammates, Dwight Freeney, Marvin Harrison, a bunch of draft picks that we had, and that's what Fran's about, bringing it back to those days.
Yeah, how do you look back at your time with Syracuse? Clearly, you had a really good run, and it led you to being a first-round pick in the NFL.
Yeah, my time at Syracuse was cool, man. I redshirted, so that year I got to watch Marvin Harrison work his senior year, and that's what I realized what it meant to be a pro and what it took to get to the next level. And then you had, Kevin Abrams, who was a cornerback, went second round the next year. Then we had Donovan Darius and Tabucky Jones, who went first round. Donovan McNabb the year after, then myself. So, and then obviously Dwight Freeney. So my point is, my time there was great. I got a great education, left with that. But on the football field, we were around guys that had a pedigree and knew what success was on the football field and how to get to the next level. And obviously, we have to take our hats off to Coach Pasqualoni, who was our coach at the time, who had that mentality. He had that mentality. He was definitely not our friend. He was our coach, and he was transforming boys to men, and got to commend him for that.
Keith Bullock here with us, former NFL linebacker. His college days were spent at Syracuse. You remember him with the Tennessee Titans, did wrap up his career with the New York Giants. Hey, I'm sure you have an opinion on it. Yesterday, it's the biggest news. It's still the biggest news today. Micah Parsons traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. When that came across your desk yesterday, how did you respond to it?
Yeah, I just don't think Jerry Jones is that smart when it comes to, well, he's obviously a smart businessman, but when it comes to the business of football, I think he might let his emotions kind of get in the way of those things. So, you trade away one of your best players. He has his reasons. I think that I've known Micah since he was in high school, so I know that he's in a spot where he can flourish. He's flourished, every year in the NFL, and typically you pay those players who make plays for you. So Mr. Jones has a different way of doing business. That's fine. That's his right. But, everyone's happy now. Mr. Jones is happy. He'll be able to stop the run with Gary Clark, who's a great player, but they're going to need more than that. And the Green Bay Packers are happy. They got a young quarterback, experienced quarterback, and Jordan Love had a great team last year. And I know that, adding one of the best defensive players in the league is only going to help secure their playoff hopes and chances and Super Bowl hopes and chances.
Since you have the locker room kind of perspective, Keith Bullock, a team like the Cowboys, right? Going into this year, if they had Micah, some people thought they could be a fringe playoff team. Now, people are looking at this and the expectations are significantly lower when you trade away a player the caliber of Micah Parsons. How do you think the teammates react to it? And when Jerry Jones trades away a player like this, what does that do inside that locker room initially?
Well, Jerry Jones is a very unique owner, so those guys, you see CeeDee Lamb tweeting like, oh man, just pay the man. Oh, here we go again, so obviously Micah's a leader, CeeDee's a leader. There are other people on that team that have opinions. So I think Thursday night against Philly will be a really good sign of how the Cowboys will go throughout the season. Because if they get blown out on Thursday night, I feel like Schottenheimer has lost the team. Schottenheimer's a first-year coach. Great coach, been in the league over 20 years, but this is his first time being a head coach, and he's coming to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't know how much leash Jerry Jones is really giving him. Jerry Jones is liable to be on the sidelines calling offensive plays if he wanted to. So, it's going to be very, very interesting and very tough. And I don't necessarily know, because I'm not in that locker room, if the Cowboys have the strong enough leaders to kind of, get over the dips and valleys they might go throughout the season to secure that playoff win, or even just contend for the Super Bowl, which they feel to be this year.
You look back at the NFL draft, the first pick, I think we all forget about it, was a heck of a quarterback in Cam Ward. He goes to Tennessee. Everyone that drafted, I understand it, right? I was doing it. When is Shedeur going to go? When is Shedeur going to go? And he surprisingly fell all the way to the 5th round. And yet a lot of quarterbacks go after Cam Ward before even Shedeur did get his name called. But you look at Cam, I don't know if he's going to be great, but I think bare minimum he's going to be really good. What are your thoughts about the new quarterback with your old team?
Well, I think he could be great if they put the right pieces around him. He could be really good if he's just working with, the pieces that they feel are good. But if you go out and get you a Jamar Chase type caliber player, A.J. Brown type caliber player, they've already done a great job over the last few years rebuilding the offensive line. But you have to put playmakers around a quarterback like Cam, who's very efficient, who has shown to be very efficient, who's shown to make the right decision. Everyone's going to make poor decisions, but the ones that he has made throughout camp, he takes full accountability for them, and he's always trying to get better. He says the right things as a young quarterback that's just been thrusted and anointed the starter. So I'm interested to see him get out there. But what I do know is the Titans defense definitely has to the offense, defense, and special teams have to step up for this team to be successful. It's not just going to be all Cam Ward.
Yeah, and then we look at the team that you wrapped up your career with on the way out with Keith Bullock, the Giants. They're going to start Russell Wilson to begin the season. Jackson Dart played well in the preseason. I don't think it's a matter of if he sees the field, just when. Do you think the Giants should have just played Dart to start the season in week 1, or are they doing the right thing by waiting here?
They're doing the right thing by waiting, because if you throw Jackson Dart out there and he has a dud, then, you could, put the kid in the tank for the whole season, because I wouldn't put too much into the preseason, because a lot of those guys out there are 2nd, 3rd, and even 4th team guys trying to make the team. Jackson Dart operated beautifully in the preseason, but it's different when the regular season comes. They're making the right decision by letting the veteran go out there, giving Jackson an opportunity to learn from some of Russell's mistakes, learn from some of Russell's successes, see some of the things that he's never seen through someone else doing it before he has to get out there to do it. I think in this day and age of football, a lot of young quarterbacks are just thrown out there and never really given a chance to learn and understand the pro game. And that's why you see them fizz and fade so fast.
Last thing I'll ask you, and maybe this birdie is wrong, but I'm in New York City. A little birdie tells me that you're a big Mets fan. Is that right?
Yes, I am. That's my team, man.
Big night tonight with the youngster on the mound and Jonathan. Can't wait to see it. Looks like maybe they're starting to turn things around. I know it didn't go their way yesterday, but I was at one of those games against the Phillies, and man, it was a nice sweep up against Philadelphia.
Yeah, we'll lock in. It's that time of the year. That's all these games count, and this is when it matters. So hopefully we hold on, maybe even move up a little bit. But I'll definitely be up there for a playoff game for sure.
Aflac kickoff, Syracuse, Tennessee tomorrow as the college football season week 1 is here. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Keith Bullock going to be a captain for Syracuse, honorary captain, and he's kind enough to join us on the show. Keith, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Have a good one.
You got it. There he is. Keith Bullock on the Zach Gelb Show on the Infinity Sports Network. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Coming up in a few moments, we got a ton of audio to play. You will hear from Jerry Jones from last night. Kenny Clark spoke today. Brian Schottenheimer spoke today. And some other people are chiming on in, from Jason Garrett to Michael Irvin and even Cam Newton as well on this deal. But let me take a call here before the break. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Lou in Rochester, next up on the Zach Gelb Show. Sweet Lou, what's happening?
Hey, Zach. Good to hear your voice again. Listen, I'm sold on Dart, but that's not why I'm calling. I did see Dart play against the Bills' first stringers. He was very impressive. And I guess the Giants are protecting him, but they'll get to him pretty soon because Wilson's not going to be able to do it. But the main reason I called is I think Jerry may have stumbled into a decent trade because Micah has, when he came on the scene as a rookie, he reminded me of Lawrence Taylor, maybe better. And then he had a great second year too. And then he got injured. And the past few years, I can see a noticeable slippage in his play. He also is not very good against the run. 2 years ago against the Bills, who I follow, he was a non-factor in the game where the Bills ran all over them at the stadium here in Buffalo. I think short-term he'll probably help Green Bay, but that contract is ridiculous in what he's getting. And I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 years he's a cut candidate, and the Cowboys got a decent return for him.
Yeah, no, they got a solid return. And Lou, appreciate the phone call. Thanks for making it. I can't say that it's a great return. Kenny Clark is a good player. He's good. 2 first-round picks. They're going to be late first-round. Like the Packers, do we think the Packers are missing the playoffs the next 2 years? And even if they do, they're just going to miss the playoffs. So I kind of look at this, and I'm seeing where they're at. And, everyone's talking about, and Jerry will play the audio in a bit. Oh, Jerry, they can't run, Micah can't play up against the run. This guy still has 52.5 sacks in 4 seasons. Like, how are you going to replace that production? And I understand he got hurt last year. In 13 games, he was averaging pretty much a sack a game. He had 12 sacks. 13 games, 12 sacks. Year before that, 17, 14 sacks. 2022, 17 games played, 13.5 sacks. 2021, 16 games, 13 sacks. That's pretty damn good. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it reminded me of Lawrence Taylor. But this guy, if he's healthy, is a game changer. And if you're the Packers, you do this deal 10 times out of 10 because it takes you from being good to now people viewing you as a contender. And ultimately, you got to win. But if I'm Green Bay, are any of those 2 first-round picks that you gave up, are those players going to be on the same level or better than Micah Parsons? Like, if the Packers, let's say they don't win a Super Bowl this year, they go 11 wins. Pick 20-something. Next year, let's say they get 12 wins. Maybe it's pick 30. Maybe they get to the NFC Championship game and lose. Are any of those players going to be Micah Parsons? My guess would be no. News brief next. Zach Gelb Show, Infinity Sports Network.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Time for your daily news brief. We get you caught up on the rumors, reports, and reconnaissance from the day in sports.
And this is a Cowboys news brief. Let's go to Jerry Jones. Press conference last night. Why did you trade? Is his name Michael? Is it Micah? Is it Michael? Is it Micah? I heard a lot of Michael yesterday. And the funniest was at one point, someone asked a question about Micah, but it sounded like they were asking a question. They also used Michael Irving, and he was like, well, which one are you talking about? But anyway, here's Jerry Jones. Why trade Micah?
We did think it was in the best interest of our organization, not only the future, but right now, this season as well. We've gained a Pro Bowl player. We've gained a Pro Bowl player in an area that we had big concerns in on the inside of our defense.
I know he's 82. He turns 83 in October. So I'm not expecting him to sound as if he's so with it like he was 30, right? Everyone gets older. That's part of life. But when you're explaining the trade, and it almost sounds tough for you to explain the trade, maybe you shouldn't have traded the player. Just a thought. Let's hear more from Jerry Jones. He says it's nothing personal in trading Micah.
Like Micah, I appreciate the 4 years that we've had him here, and he's a great player. And so we are very appreciative of the fact that he's a great player. There's no question that I could have signed him in April. And so we all know that to have agreements, all parties have to agree. But this was by design. I did make Mike an offer. It wasn't acceptable, and I honor the fact that it wasn't done in the way that he wanted to do it through an agent. So he was made an offer. There's not an ounce of vindictiveness. There's no bad feelings on my part about the fact that we didn't come together on an agreement.
And let's hear Jerry Jones, the importance of getting Kenny Clark back in this deal.
The facts are, specifically, we need to stop the run. And we haven't been able to stop the run at key times for several years. And when you have the kind of extraordinary pass rush that Michael had, then the way to mitigate that pass rush is to run at you. If the pass rush doesn't get you ahead pretty big time, and you're playing even or behind, then you've really got a problem in stopping the run.
Here would be my follow-up. Hey, Jerry. If you would have signed CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and Micah, not Michael, Micah Parsons earlier, all three of them even, you would have had more money where you could have kept Micah or Michael, but Micah, and then you could have signed an interior defensive lineman to help you stop the run. So why didn't you get these deals done earlier so you still could have had the best of both worlds, where you could have kept Micah and still got your interior defensive player? That's what I would have said. Jerry Jones makes it clear that trading Micah Parsons, that one player doesn't make an entire team.
If you are the one that owns, and when you look in the mirror, you've got to change. And so that this was a very deliberate, as it played out, reflection on a key player that could bring us a lot of consideration. A lot of consideration now in the player that we got that can help us stop the run, and a lot of consideration in the future. A lot of capital that is required to build a team. It takes many players to be tried to play in the NFL. It takes 11 on the field at the same time. It takes a minimum of 30 or 40 at minimum to have both defense and offense, not including players that are involved in our special teams. So it takes more than one.
All right, let's keep it moving. Jerry Jones, he compares this Micah Parsons deal to the Herschel Walker trade.
Micah Parsons did an outstanding job for us for 4 years, and a little bit of the way Herschel Walker may have had his greatest contribution to the Cowboys. What he brought to us when he left could be a tremendous thing for our fans and the success of this team.
Here's the thing. The 2 picks that you got, right? Just the 2 picks that you got. I know they have 4 total first-round picks in the next 2 years, but the 2 picks that you got, those picks are going to be so far back. They're going to be in the 20s bare minimum. Now, can you draft a great player, pick 23 and pick 30? Yeah, obviously. But the odds aren't in your favor. So that's the point to me where the Cowboys on their own picks may be bad enough now where they could get real impact players. And then you have later round capital where you could also hit on, or you could even move up. But and what you got back, which is Kenny Clark, who I like, and 2 first-round picks that are to be on a contending team, I don't think it's that rich of a deal. So it makes me wonder, were there other suitors, or was this just the Green Bay Packers? Jerry Jones makes it clear there were other suitors for Micah Parsons.
The picks that we ultimately getting, and we did have several teams that we might have had an opportunity to do something with. We did have that. And so this was no instantaneous happening this afternoon over about a 5-minute period.
Let's also get to Jerry Jones. He says Dak's contract did impact the Micah Parsons decision to trade him.
But we have the highest paid player in the NFL at quarterback. And we made that commitment last year, and we're proud we made it. It had everything to do with this decision. Everything. It is give us every opportunity with Dak Prescott and Lamb and the base that we've got to win now. And so all you need to do, this would, I'm not so sure this would have been results had we not had Dak. But the fact that we have Dak, we need to stop the run. We really do. We need to get the ball back.
This is like, there's no way she's listening. This is when I call my grandmother and I ask a question and she just talks and talks and talks and talks for 10 minutes. Like, how's the weather? And she starts talking about this person and that person and this person and, oh, what she's doing next week. That's what Jerry Jones is doing right there. But to go back to what was the initial part of this, yeah, the reason why you could say maybe Dak's contract impacted this is because you waited so long to pay Dak. You would have saved money. You waited on CD. You waited on Dak. You waited on Micah. And the price goes up and up and up and up. Like, enough. And then, oh, yeah, we got to stop the run. Are you going to be able to rush the passer this year? They keep on talking about the depth that they have. You lost a proven commodity. So, I don't really get this one. You took a lot of shots at David Margoleta here. Let's hear Jerry Jones. He's concerned about the bad blood with Micah Parsons' agency moving forward. Not Micah's no longer on the team, but that agent, David Margoleta, is supposedly the best agent in the NFL. Are you afraid there will be bad blood moving forward?
Athletes First represents a good chunk of your Cowboys players, including Tyler Smith. David Mulligetta represents George Pickens, who's on your team. Do you wonder if maybe the interactions you had or didn't have with David Mulligetta might have some ramifications in terms of negotiations down the road?
From everything I've heard from people that know him, he's not that fragile. And let me tell you something, you can't do this stuff, you can't do business like this and be around this and be fragile. I'm not. It still doesn't mean you can't get mad or you can't get away, but still. I would think that with his background and what have you, he's very professional and is very willing to keep his eye on the ball and not get caught up in a lot of the other emotion or things that go on.
All right, I'll give you one more from Jerry Jones, and then we'll hear from some other people. Hey, Jerry Jones, are you worried about the state of the locker room moving forward?
If you say if I'm worried about the locker room, I'm absolutely zero worried about the locker room. No, that's not meant to diminish anything here. I'm just not concerned at all about the locker room. It takes a lot of players to play this game. Locker room knows that we just got a lot of good players.
Let's go to Kenny Clark, his initial reaction to getting traded to the Dallas Cowboys.
Man, I was getting my daughter some ice cream and just randomly just got the call. I was shocked. I was shocked, but you know, once Jerry and all those guys called me, Shotty and everybody, it was just, you know, I just felt wanted. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a blessing. I'm appreciative of it.
Yeah, I talked to Kenny Clark briefly today when he was traveling to Dallas, and he talked about how excited he is to get to Dallas, and he can't wait for this opportunity. And I said to him, I still think you're an underrated player. You know, for a guy that's been a three-time Pro Bowler, and I know that you're playing in a legendary franchise in Green Bay, but sometimes, right, like Green Bay's not a rah-rah organization. Now, I think Green Bay's a better organization than Dallas in terms of winning. But you look at the Cowboys, I think Kenny Clark now will get more spotlight, more attention on him. And if he plays well this year, you could look at it and say, okay, Kenny Clark's a really good player. The draft picks are ultimately going to make or break this trade. But I still don't think you get to a point where if you're a Cowboy fan, you go, oh, we should have traded Micah Parsons. Kenny Clark reiterates that he's excited to be a Cowboy.
Man, it's great, man. It's a historic franchise. Man, I wouldn't want no other thing to be sent here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a chance to win a Super Bowl here, and that's all I can ask for.
No, you don't.
That's what I want to do. I want to bring a Super Bowl back to the Cowboys. And ever since I've been traded, my daughters haven't stopped smiling. So it's a blessing, and it just shows, you know, this was the right move. So I'm excited.
Everyone tells Kenny Clark he was brought in to stop the run. Is he focused on only stopping the run? Here's Kenny Clark.
Honestly, I mean, when it all comes down to stopping the run, it's all about, you know, physicality and setting edges. And you know, I mean, I think as long as we doing our job as a defense, you know, it all takes 11. It takes all of us understanding, you know, how to stop the run, and it takes all of us holding each other accountable every day. To know our responsibilities and to play the run so we can be able to rush the passer. So I mean that's my goal is to be a dog, you know, to be a dog in the middle, and you know, handle my business physically, but also having everybody understand what we need to do mentally and how we need to prepare in order to stop the run.
And let's go to Brian Schottenheimer on the Micah Parsons trade.
Well, I think, you know, we just went through the whole process, and at the end of the day, it was unanimous. This is not something we came about. It wasn't something where it was like an overnight thing. We had talked about it, and at the end of the day, I think when you look at a football team, when you can potentially add up to 4 or 5 players and things like that, it gives you the ability to do some things. We were certainly excited about the addition of Kenny Clark. I've played against Kenny. He's very, very disruptive inside. Again, when we looked at it, it was, you know, something that at the end of the day, when you get a chance to get things back in return that you're excited about, then, you know, you make the move. And so, obviously, at the end of the day, we got to maximize the picks that we have, and that'll obviously be the plan. I'm
not going to crush Shotty. He's a yes man. That's obvious. No other team would have made him a head coach but the Dallas Cowboys. So it's weird to just go after him, but I will say this. If we had Brian Schottenheimer in studio with us, and let's say the cameras were off, say the microphones are off, say we kind of poured each other a drink and we put some truth serum in it, you happy that the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons? If he said yes, that would be a lie. If there was truth serum, he would be like, no, I'm not happy. Let's go to Brian Schottenheimer. Did he talk to Dak Prescott since the trade?
Dak was one of the guys that I called when this happened, along with, again, 12 or 14 other guys. And the leaders of this team and the players that I spoke to appreciated me taking the time to call them And I appreciated being able to have these real conversations with them. I think that that's part of how you move forward, is you have conversations. And I thought it was very important that once this happened, that they heard it from me.
And let's hear from the playmaker, Michael Irvin. He was on the Michael Irvin podcast. Now, I think 2 minutes, I saw this on social media before the trade got announced. I guess Michael, I almost called him Micah because of how Jerry did it. I guess Michael was on a podcast, or it was on ESPN, excuse me, and he was guaranteeing that Micah would not get traded. So Michael Irvin took to his podcast after the trade, and he is very upset. Michael Irvin on the Micah Parsons trade. Don't get him confused.
I know he loved Michael Parsons. So in order for us to be right here, something had to go down that hurt Jerry personally.
Did someone die?
To make this crazy, dumb move.
Ooh.
The gambler and his Cowboys. It's the series that is
The
out
gambler
right now. This is a gamble. The gambler should not have taken. My personal opinion. The last personal thing with Jerry, that was with him and Jimmy, that got in the way, I believe, of a Super Bowl that year. There's a good chance this personal thing, this time, with Micah and his agent, has a good opportunity to get in the way of a, I thought was a Super Bowl opportunity.
Oh,
now
stop.
You're going to need a pass rusher to get to the quarterback because they'll have to catch up. And you let Michael Parsons go. Or you traded Michael Parsons. God almighty. I am disappointed that Jerry and the Cowboys decided to trade Michael Parsons. I'm hot about that.
Let me tell you, Connor, I love you filling in for Stu. I'm just using you as an example here. You're just a person that's sitting there across from me. There is a better chance that Connor goes on a date with Beyonce tonight than the Cowboys had at winning the Super Bowl this year. So that's crazy. I know we're going long. I just want to play one more here. Let's hear Jason Garrett, the clapper, PFT Live, his reaction if Jerry presented him with this trade.
Well, let's not do that. Is there anybody else who's interested? Let's get him over in the AFC, you know? And so who knows? And I'm sure that conversation came up. You know, you don't want to trade him in the division. You don't want to trade him, in the conference if you can, to a rival like Green Bay. So you would try to dissuade that decision, but who knows? And obviously in that situation, you say, okay, 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, that's good, but this is Micah Parsons. This is a transformational player. Can we get more? You know, people have made the comparison to the Herschel Walker deal. Go back and look at what the Cowboys got for Herschel Walker. A lot more than they've gotten for Micah Parsons. And you can make a compelling argument that the defensive lineman with 52 sacks in 4 years is a more valuable commodity than the great Herschel Walker, as great as he was.
He's 100% right. Not only 100%. 1,000% right. We'll come on back with the NHTSA play of the day. Also, I got to get some reaction to Nebraska defeating Cincinnati last night and Boise State getting smacked by USF. Update time. Here's Pete McCarthy.
Infinity Sports Network, Sports Flash.
Well, Zach, Carlos Alcaraz overcame an awkward step that caused an issue with his right knee after a medical timeout. Alcaraz returned to form, defeating Luciano Darderi in straight sets. American Jessica Pegula also advances to the 4th round, defeating Victoria Azarenka 6-1, 7-5. 7th seed Jasmine Paolini was ousted by Marketa Vondrousova. As for the men at the U.S. Open, American Ben Shelton has a 2-1 lead on Adrian Manarino. Manarino, though, leads the 4th set 5-3. Francis Tiafoe drops his first set to Jan-Lennard Struff, and Tiafoe down to the 2nd set as well, 5-3. Novak Djokovic, Taylor Fritz, and 1 seed Arina Sabalenka are the biggest names in action tonight. NFL, the Patriots are releasing veteran safety Jabril Peppers, according to Adam Schefter. University of Miami linebacker Darius Hayes has been charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide. 3 people died as a result of the May 10th crash in Largo, Florida. Hayes has been indefinitely suspended from all athletic-related activities. I'm Pete McCarthy.
Heyo, sports fans. It's Pat Boyle here on the Infinity Sports Network. Check us out 24/7 on SiriusXM, channel 375.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Zach Gelb Show.
Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA. Let's hear Kyle Schwarber, who had 4 home runs. This is our NHTSA play of the day.
The swing and a bomb. That will end the drought. Way up into the second deck, Kyle Schwarber puts the Phillies on the board with his 46th of the season. And he swings and crushes one to right. Down the line, and this ball is fair, and it is gone, and it's another homer for Kyle Schwarber. Swung on, hit in the air, left field. Profar turning, going back, looking up, and it is gone. It's a 3-homer game for Kyle Schwarber. Everybody looking for history from Kyle Schwarber. The 1-2 on the way. Swung on, hit deep right field, and there's history for Schwarber. It's his 4th home run of the night as Kyle Schwarber becomes the first Philly since Michael Jack Schmidt to hit 4 homers in a game.
That Michael Jack Schmidt, the Phillies star and NL MVP candidate Kyle Schwarber, became just the 21st player ever and 3rd this year to hit 4 homers in a game as the Phillies extended their lead over the Mets to 5 games in the NL East. There's been 3 players this year, Samter, that have hit 4 home runs in a game. Now, when there were a lot of no-hitters happening, like that one stretch we had a bunch of like in a season, people go, oh, the no-hitter, oh, it's getting antiquated. It's not that impressive anymore, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, what are you going to say now? 4 home runs in a game isn't that impressive anymore? I didn't even know that there was 3 players this year to hit 4 home runs in a game.
Well, the craziest thing was there were exactly 3 guys who did it from 2003 to 2024.
They juicing the baseball, we got steroids going on again.
Yeah, and in a 21-year period, Josh Hamilton, Scooter Gennett, and J.D. Martinez did it.
Wow.
This year, Eugenio Suarez, Nick Kurtz, and Kyle Schwarber have all done it.
I'll tell you.
It's crazy.
The first 2 I did not hear about doing it this year.
Well, Nick Kurtz, I remember, because that guy, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. He's a star.
I'm not questioning their play. But in terms of us following national story, I do not remember 2 players this year. Schwarber obviously happened the other night. I heard about it. I don't remember 2 players, or at least us talking about 2 other players hitting 4 home runs in a game this year. Real quickly, 2 notes. And by the way, the Phillies star now, I already read this. So we'll just keep it moving there. I almost had a Ron Burgundy moment there. You put something in front of me, I'll read it. I'll maybe read it twice even.
Go bleep yourself, San Diego.
You want to go to a zoo with me over the weekend, Samter?
I mean, if it's an actual zoo, maybe, but it sounds like you're offering something else.
I'm just saying, you get pushed in or you jump in to go save me, and then we have to go fight some animals, something like that.
My dog does speak bear.
Oh. It is the Zach Gelb Show on the Infinity Sports Network. So real quickly, Nebraska last night, they won the game. That's what matters. They didn't cover the spread. That also matters. And through my first time signing up through DraftKings, I did deposit $5. I got $300 in bonus bets. So I used one of my $25 in bonus bets to give you a bunch of them to get $300 on Nebraska laying the points. Didn't win because they only won by 3. It was minus 6.5. I'm not saying I'm concerned about it yet. Like, they'll beat Akron, they'll beat Houston Christian, Nebraska. Then a big game up against Michigan, and you got Bryce Underwood up against Dylan Raiola. After that, you play Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, USC, UCLA, Penn State, Iowa. Like, bare minimum, Nebraska this year should be an 8-win team. But there were moments in that game last night, and this is what I struggled with. Dylan Raiola has to take that next step this year. And there was moments in that game last night where I said to myself, does Dylan Raiola, is he someone that processes slowly, or is his throwing motion just slow? And there was one play where it was a turnover on downs, I believe. I was watching it. And right away, he should have hit his receiver or running back for a first down to the left. Like right away, wide open. But he waited so long to get to him, and then he got lucky. It was a fortuitous bounce. He was lucky that the defensive player had bricks for hands, because if he would have caught the ball, whoosh, it's a pick six. But Nebraska needed that win last night, because if they would have lost a close game again, it would have been, uh-oh, here goes Nebraska again. Doesn't matter who's coaching the team. So I have high expectations for Nebraska, at least 8 wins this year. But I got to see more from Raiola. And I know everyone's praising Raiola after last night. Oh, the Mahomes stuff, blah, 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 blah. And he was 33 of 42 for 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, a nice fake and hit Dane Key for a touchdown. But I don't know if he processes it slowly, if his slowing motion is slow. Either way, you got to get it cleaned up, and you got 2 weeks to do so before you do play Michigan. And then Boise State got smacked in the second half. Smacked by USF. And Alex Golesh is a good coach. He is. You know, he took over a program, and I remember USF and Willie Taggart, and then Charlie Strong took over. And then, you know, Strong that first year was 10-2. After that, 7-6, 4-8. Then Jeff Scott was 1-8, 2-10, 1-8. And the interim coach was 0-3. Golesh has come in there, 7-6, 7-6, and then boom, they start off the season with that dominating performance in the second half up against a top 25 team. Now it gets tricky for South Florida. You beat Boise, then the next 2 weeks, you play at Florida and you're at Miami. If they go in one of those, they start to become the sexy G5 pick. And that would really be something. But we'll see where they're going to be. But for Boise State, I was disappointed with. I think they can make I thought going into last night they could have made the playoff. They should still win the Mountain West. And they have a lot of good players on both sides of the ball. We've talked about this at length. But last night, that second half, geez, that was ugly. Didn't score a point in the last 3 quarters after they started the game up 7-0, and they got 34 unanswered against them. So I don't know what to expect now to the Broncos. Coming on back, Dion Dawkins, a snowman, next on the Zach Gelb Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
To infinity and beyond.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show. Here's your host, Zach Gelb.
All righty, welcome back in. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on the Infinity Sports Network. We head out to the guest line right now. Welcome in a 4-time Pro Bowler. He is entering his 9th season in the NFL. Bills open up the season with the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. That's the Snowman, the guy that's going to win the first ever Protector of the Year award because he created it, and he's the best offensive lineman, I think, in the NFL, Dion Dawkins. Dion, what's happening?
Zachy, like Lotto. Bokey. What's up, dude?
I'm doing fantastic, and I appreciate you coming on. So you guys just wrapped up with Hard Knocks. We saw the final episode. How do you kind of look back at the Hard Knocks experience?
Hard Knocks is great. Hard Knocks is absolutely great. You know me. I'm a media guy. I love the media. I like the screen. I like the camera. I like all of it. I'm for the time. The time now is where we're in our phones. We're on the screens. Like, this is just what the world is. I love it. They were not annoying. They were not in your face. Like, they were just like flies on a wall. And they made it work.
And I'll tell you this. So you know me. I'm always going to defend you. You know, I'm wearing the Snow Motorsports shirt right now.
I see it.
You're my fraternity brother. We go way back to Temple University.
Yes.
And I had to fight some of my coworkers because early on they do the drifting episode, and then all these antiquated talk show hosts go, "Oh, Dion shouldn't be doing that. Oh, it's not safe." And I'm like, Well, what the heck is going on? I go, all you people, whenever Dion comes on your show, you say all these nice things, and then you do one thing that he doesn't like, and then you're bashing him. So I tell a bunch of my coworkers to F off pretty much.
Yo, Zach, you want to know how I see it and what I could say? You know, kind of like the people that are talking crap, you know, or have something negative to say, you got to think about it like this, right? They go like to the doctors, and the doctors give them a checkup, and they're like, "Oh, your cholesterol is a little high," or "Oh, your blood pressure is a little high. You should stop drinking coffee and your donut and your muffin in the morning. You should slow down with that." And what do? They go right back to their habits, right? They don't. People ain't criticizing them. People ain't criticizing them at the drive-through window and talking about, "All right, Mr. Man, you probably shouldn't order that muffin times 3. You should slow it down. You don't," like, you know what I'm saying? And even the opposite way. Maybe you need a little more protein. But because we're athletes and da-da-da, people can say whatever they want to say. But when it comes down to it, if I'm in control of my car and if I'm in an open skid pad with my children or doing anything with a helmet on, a fire suit, a roll cage, a full harness, a full medic team, everything. I got a fire extinguisher in the car, right? How I see it, Zach, is you have people that, and I hate that the world is like this, right? But we've had a lot of situations where people are driving extremely fast on the highway, right? And they're getting in trouble, right? I don't want to get in trouble. I am a Tasmanian devil. I'm a Donnie, right? Like, but like I'm wild, right? I like to fast. I like to be fast. I like to drive fast, but I do it on a track. I do it in an open field. So would you rather me be safe on a open skid pad or on a track where I could be safe, or would you want me on a highway doing this where I could hurt somebody or do something else? I would rather be where I'm at. Because even those people that are talking crap, I bet you they speed on the speed limit. I bet you they probably have a couple speeding tickets. I can't get a speeding ticket on the res where I'm at Big Indian. I can't. I can't. I can't get a ticket there, so I'm safe. Safer than what they're doing.
Dion Dawkins here with us, the Snowman. You know, you are on every show now. Like, I remember when I was the only one that would ever interview you. Now,
it's true.
It's like tough to even get you on these shows because you're on a new show every week, and you become one of the best offensive linemen in football. You're a star, but still, I look at the All-Pro list, and I don't see you with an All-Pro. Do you still feel like you get your respect yet, or is there more nationally for people to respect the Snowman?
Zach, I think it comes down to even like the bigger world of the bigger guys. We are still breaking down the door of just the bigger guys getting their respect, right? Like Penei Sewell, I think he just cracked the top 20 and the top 100, right? Like guys like Lane and Trent and myself and Tunzel and all these guys, right? We are breaking down those doors. Like even personally me, right? Like I'm so thankful for everything. I'm so thankful. But like little things always show me how much more I have to do. And this is not no shot. So I don't want you to spin it. I don't want nobody to spin this. So this is not no shot. But just me personally, with looking at how life goes, we just released the snow, no, not the snow, but like the rivalry jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Rivals, right? And it was like very snowy and stuff like that. I was blessed. I was a part of the promo to launch it and da-da-da-da-da. But I just seen something. They're only releasing like 3 people's jerseys, right? And I wasn't one of them. So with me not being one of them, that means I still have a lot of work to do. And I'm okay with whatever management or whatever business, that's their world. I'm the athlete. I have to keep doing what I'm doing. So they look at me like, all right, Dion has to be involved no matter what. And then when I know that they're thinking about big guys, like, hold on, because somebody, but you can see me, Zach?
Yeah, I can see you.
Right. So when I'm looking at things like when people are talking about Josh Allen and McCaffrey and Keon and Odell Beckham and Ramsey and Jefferson, I want them to talk about Penei. I want them to talk about Trent. I want them to talk about Lane. I want them to talk about Dion. I want them to talk about Spencer. Like, I want them to talk about us just as much as we talk about them or they talk about them, because we're all a part of it. And realistically, it helps. All of it helps, bro. Like, all of it helps on and off of the field. I'm one person, and you know this. I try to maximize every bit of my time. I try to maximize every bit of my time. So every little bit counts. Every little bit counts, bro. Like, if you're on a show and you're talking about Dion as well as Josh, or Spencer as well as Josh, or Osiris as well as Josh, or anyone else, and if you're balancing that out, it's cool. Yo, I was even thinking, Zach, and you know how I kind of get off on a tangent, but we could speak like all day, like we do, right? Like we're actually brothers, right? Like this is normal for us to speak. And thinking about something and like this, right? Like, even in fantasy football,
no linemen.
There's zero linemen. There are so many people that don't even watch football, but have a fantasy football team because they're doing it for their work and it's fun and da-da-da-da-da. But those names are coming across. You're clicking on those names. You hear those names. You see those names. You're clicking on it just because, like, oh, I've seen this name at the top. I'm going to pick this one every year because da-da-da-da-da. Even that little bit helps linemen. You have linemen like from the Colts or from the Giants or from the Rams or from the Bengals or anywhere that like might need a little help or a little shine. Even a fantasy football name is something that would help so much in a big boy world. And I'm one of those guys that I see it and I call it for it and what it is. And, you know, Zach, I don't know how many more years left, right? I don't know how many more years left, brother. But I know that I want to maximize my years out. So when it is time, I made the best out of it. And people know exactly who Snow is on and off of the field. So we have a career. And then all this stuff can change with, oh, guys are going broke, da-da-da-da. I mean, if they're a bigger name, they might have more opportunity when they're not playing football.
Is retirement, this is now year 9. It's kind of crazy. Like, I remember when you were a 3-star. I remember when you were passing out business cards to get people to follow you on social media when we did that autograph signing in the mall. I remember when the draft analyst said, oh, Dion Dawkins, he's not a tackle. He's got to be an interior offense lineman. Like, I remember the whole journey. You know that. But
bro, start to finish.
It's now year 9. Like, you're still only 31.
Right.
You could still look Trent Williams and look how I know he's a mentor of yours and look how long he plays. But has retirement started to creep into that cabeza of yours?
No, I can't say that. Why would I say that? No, never.
You got kids now. It's a different world.
I do have kids. I'm actually staring at them now. That's why I'm in the car because I left Nona's house, which is and my mom and my kids have been jumping all over me, but. Of course, but you think about how many years you really want to do it. I want to win a Super Bowl I want to help win a Super Bowl for my team, right? So whether it's this year, next year, the year after, I want to be here for it and my guys. Even with Josh, bro, like my life is Josh. No matter what nobody says or can anyone say, my life is Josh. He's my quarterback. I'm his left tackle. That is my prime responsibility as a football player. No matter what, it's my prime responsibility. So I want to make sure that Josh is taken care of. And I don't want to see nobody else protect him but me. So I'm selfish in that way. And I would rather be the one to protect Josh throughout his career. So not that I want to play as long as Josh is going to play, because Josh can probably play for another 20 years. But I want to go as long as I can here, right here in Buffalo. So we'll see. We'll see, Zach. But year 9, I'm still a baby.
Well, here's the thing, too. There's like checklists, right? Sometimes, right, if you go into Super Bowl year 1, you win it. But for that team, Josh getting the MVP is like that last check before a Super Bowl. Like, I know you got to still beat Kansas City when it matters. You beat them in the regular season for, 4 straight years or something like that. Why can this team, because you know what, narratives build. Oh, the Bills are one of the best teams in the league, but they can't get over the hump. Why can this team this year, as you guys get ready to embark on another season, be the team that delivers Buffalo their first ever Super Bowl?
Because all we need is a chance. And every year we have that chance. And we continue to have that chance. And the more chances that we get, eventually those chips are going to fall. And as long as we're on the field, 17, McDermott as the head coach, Bean as the GM, and Terry Pagula and Kim Pagula as the owners, we have a chance. And the rest of the names follow after. But with all those names to start, the rest follows, and we have a fighting chance. And in this league, sometimes that's all you need, because when it comes down to it, the margins of winning, losing are so small, brother. They're so small. So give us that fighting chance, and we're going to be all right.
Wrapping up with Dion Dawkins, a snowman on the Zach Gelb show. You had high praise, and you're setting the bar really high for Keon Coleman this year. When I heard that, I also said, hey, I agree with you. I'm a big believer in Keon Coleman when he was at Florida State, but I got to see something out of Dalton Kincaid this year. So we heard what you said about Keon. What do you think's going to happen with Dalton this year in year 3?
I think Dalton as well. Dalton, Knox, Keon, Khalil, where our guys are stacked, even Josh, right? Like Josh Palmer. Like we have a great group of guys, man. We have a great group of guys. And, you know, Dalton is Dalton, and he's out there and he's just having a good time. He's fluid. He's flowing. He's catching deep balls, catching short balls. He's catching routine, everything. Everything seems correct. And I love the way that it's going. And why I have so much praise in Keon, Keon is not the same kid, right? And I made a bet with Keon, right? Like, I know what motivates my guys as a leader. I told Keon, and he could fact check me, but I told Keon, I think it was 1,400 yards and at least 14 tutties, and I'm buying him a Hellcat. So that's motivation for a kid that likes nice things. And it's a friendly challenge. But
did you come up with it?
I let Keon. Now Keon came up with it, and he was like, Dion, if I go for 1,000 yards, I want a Hellcat. So of course I said 1,000. I said I need 1,500. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, with the business guy that I am, look, you can't say 1,000. Look, I gotta up it. Give me 15. So
you do that because I've lost 90 pounds. We've talked about this in the last 5 years. And I remember when I lost 40, you texted me, you go, now lose 20 more. That's what you do, Dion.
100%, bro. I am one of those guys that is going to push my guys. And when I love my guys, I want the best out of my guys. And sometimes you might have to do a little bit more. And if I have to do something that is coming out of my pocket to make our team better, bro, I'm for it, bro. I want to win a Super Bowl.
How much does that cost you? What did you bet him again?
Bro, a Hellcat, and the one that he wants, I'm a guess with the whole kit and everything, it'll probably cost me about 100,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But look, that's for us to get the best version out of somebody from bribing a car. Come on, bro. Why not? Why not?
How about James? Not? How about James Cook, by the way? Now, when you got a contract extension, you scared the crap out of all of us. You made it seem like you were leaving. You played all of us on social media. James had a little bit of a back and forth that was covered, obviously, on Hard Knocks. When you saw James got his, what was your reaction for your buddy?
It was excitement, man. We all knew it was just a matter of time. The guys upstairs do a good job of keeping the band together. As you see, they just brought Trey back. We just brought Big Phil back. We just got Poyer back. They keep the guys here, and that's what they enjoy. But everything is business. It's business and time, and timing is this and this and that and da-da-da-da. And it worked out for him. But we're all happy. Cook is my guy, and he's our guy, and I'm glad that he's with our team. So I'm thankful. I'm thankful that Cook is here because I enjoy it in blocking for him, as well as the other guys. But Cook is our guy. Cook is our number one.
I'll tell you, when you told me you were going to come on with us yesterday, I was thinking of things I could ask you. And I was going to ask you, Dion, could you see the Buffalo Bills trading for Micah Parsons? And then yesterday, Micah Parsons goes to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. When you got that alert yesterday, because I know you're all over social media, how did you process that one?
I for sure thought that some Houdini trick was gonna happen. I thought that because but you see like the pages that post like rumor Micah Parsons was seen at Barbell or Lenova's or something like that. Like it's just like, all right, whatever. So I was hoping, bro. I was but Big Baller Bean does what he does, and I was hoping that something was gonna happen. Because why not? We want all the best players here. So if Micah is one of the best players, which he is, I want him here. But when I seen that all that, not madness, but all this stuff was over with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and everything, I was happy to see that the kid got what he wanted, and now he's gonna be playing somewhere that somebody obviously values him the way that he wanted to be valued, and I'm glad that his legacy and his family tree is changed forever. Because I think 188, right? That is about what 1, 2, 3. That's about 3 Dion Dawkins. So so I gotta step my game up, and hopefully I keep getting better over the years. Because 188, might start a podcast, man.
Yeah. Last thing I'll ask you. You have so much genuine love for the people of Buffalo. And you said it earlier. It's the only place you want to play for the Buffalo Bills. Why is that? Why is Dion Dawkins and Buffalo just such a perfect match?
Buffalo embraces all of its troops, right? Like, it's a perfect match because they accept me for who I am. I'm an offensive lineman I'm a skinny guy trapped in a big guy body, bro. Like, literally that. I'm a skinny guy trapped in a big guy body, and I live with so much emotion and so much energy, Zach. And it's like I'm at a place where the people are so real, so organic, just so true. And then you get the bad side of them too, where they gonna talk their stuff and they gonna run their mouth. But that's Buffalo, right? But the love is more than the hate, and I can be anywhere that is the recipe, or that is the equation, where there's more love than there's hate. So when there's more love and there's more hate, you can grow. And with me being able to be loved on, I can grow and be my true self. And I'm telling you, Zach, I am at one of the purest versions of myself, of just happiness and free and just being clear-minded. And with being clear, it is a beautiful thing, bro. And Buffalo is my home. I've had 3 of my kids here. I damn near got engaged here. Like, it's just a perfect place to be, and it's the perfect place to play football, which you have not, fully indulged in yet. But you take a trip to Buffalo and you're gonna see why.
Dion, you're the best, brother. We appreciate it as always. Good luck, good health this season. Thanks for doing this.
My dog. Peace.
There he is, Dion Dawkins, joining us on the Zach Gelb Show on the Infinity Sports Network. We'll take a break. We got 2 more segments to play. We got a lot to look forward to this weekend in college football. We'll tell you what at 5:40 p.m. Eastern time, but we come on back in 5 minutes. It is a Friday. Yeah, it's a football Friday. It's been a busy Friday, a Monday and Friday on this show. We always do onside, offside. We get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Alrighty, let's get it. Onside, offside time. Zach Gelb Show, Infinity Sports Network. We go to Michael Samter.
The one and only Michael Samter.
Sam Turd or Samter?
Sam Turd, if you're going to call Micah Parsons Michael Parsons. So depends on where you want to put the
Has anyone
emphasis
ever
on the
called you
syllable.
Sam Turd?
That works. I've heard that before. It's
Really?
not new. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought I
Sam
was just
Turd
being
and
creative.
Michael Motorcycle were very prevalent in my elementary school days.
Michael Motorcycle?
Turn the key and watch him pee. That was a big one. Yeah.
Is that supposed to be embarrassing? Like Sam Turd, okay, I get.
When you're 7 years old in first grade, yeah, like that.
Michael Motorcycle, turn the key and watch him pee.
That's exactly it. It had nothing to do with anything other than.
Michael Motorcycle, turn the key and watch him pee.
Yeah, I've heard it all before. And Zach will be singing that song for the rest of my life.
I'm going to be like, Michael Motorcycle, turn the key and watch him pee.
Just don't let Uncle Zach teach this to Alexandra, please. That's all I need. The last thing I need
I'm
is
gonna
for
call
my
your
daughter
wife.
to
Hey,
sing
can
that.
I babysit your child just one weekend?
Never.
You and Sam Turd go out. Michael Motorcycle.
First of all, she's starting to get to the point where she repeats everything.
Yeah.
She'd be singing that within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no thank you.
All right, here we go.
Now, the Micah Parsons trade to the
Go
Packers.
ahead, motorcycle. Vroom, vroom.
Vroom. It shocked the world yesterday with the Micah Parsons trade and the Cowboys getting a 26 and 27 first-round pick along with three-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Kenny Clark. To some, the trade reminded them, including Jerry Jones, of when Jerry traded Herschel Walker to the Vikings for 2 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders.
It didn't remind some. It just reminded Jera. That was it.
This is true, but other people have been talking about it, mostly saying it's not similar, but still saying that there's some remnants there. And obviously those picks helped the Cowboys build their 90s dynasty. Onside, offside. I'm not saying they got the best deal, and I'm not saying that losing Micah is a good thing, but onside, offside, the Cowboys have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl in the next 5 years than they did before this trade.
Okay, I rolled my eyes. Do you think the answer here is that the Cowboys have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl than the Packers?
No, not the Packers. Do the Cowboys have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years.
Yes,
Sorry.
Than they did before the trade.
I stopped listening because you set up this question, and I'm like, is he about to say the Cowboys have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl than the Packers? That's why I rolled my eyes. This is offside. The Cowboys have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl in the next 5 years than they did before the trade. No. And once again, here is why. Sure, could they be horrible because of this trade? Did they find their next franchise quarterback and maybe he's transcendent? But, did Joe Burrow win a Super Bowl with the – they got there. They win a Super Bowl? No. Jaden Daniels, they got to the SEC championship. Did they win last year? No. It's remarkable. They have a good quarterback right now, not a great quarterback. They didn't really have much of a chance anyway. They are retooling, but are you going to be able to hit on these draft picks? So I don't understand where the guarantee is. You're hoping, but where the guarantee is that they get better. So, yeah. Next question.
The Packers are the big winners yesterday after landing Micah, seeing the Super Bowl odds jump from as low as 20-1 to as high as 12-1. In many sports books, they even jumped division rival Detroit, whose odds fell to 13-1 to win the Super Bowl after the deal. Onside, offside, you have more faith in the Packers winning the NFC than you do the Lions.
I'm going offside. I still think it's the Lions that have the better chance to win the NFC than the Green Bay Packers, but there's no doubt about it. Yesterday, the Green Bay Packers have now been elevated to a Super Bowl contender, but I'll trust the Lions more than the Packers still. Slightly.
All right, well, the Browns QB situation seemed settled after they cut Snoop Huntley, traded Kenny Pickett to the Raiders, and elected to enter the season with Joe Flacco starting, Dylan Gabriel backing up, and Shador holding the clipboard at number 3. However, Cleveland did sign your boy, former Patriots quarterback Bailey Zappi yesterday.
Happy for Zappi.
To the practice squad. Onside, offside. If Gabriel or Sanders struggle, you could see the Browns moving Zappi above them on the depth chart.
I'm going offside on this, and here is why. Offside. Because if we go through this entire rotation where you see Joe Flacco, you see Dylan Gabriel, and then you see Shador Sanders, and then it's like, okay, maybe we throw Bailey Zappi in there. At that point, wouldn't Deshaun Watson be healthy enough? And don't you just chuck him to the Wolves and see if he has anything left in the tank? I don't think Deshaun's going to play again for the Browns, but at some point he's going to get healthy and he's going to be cleared to play. So I think it's more likely you see Watson before Zappi. Next question.
We get an incredible slate of Week 1 games across the college football landscape.
I can't wait for tomorrow, by the way.
I know. I'm going to sit on the couch and do nothing all day.
I'm going to Marash's house. I'm picking up the Chick-fil-A tray at 11:15. Going to his house. He's got Chick-fil-A tray from me. He's got sausage and peppers. He's got burgers. He's got dogs. He's got a bunch of heroes and also the Bayou Bear. The Bayou Bear. Do you know the Bayou Bear?
No.
The Bayou Bear is one of Marash's friends. You think I lost a lot of weight? The Bayou Bear, when I was fat, made me, made me look like I was skinny. Because the Bayou Bear, he has lost over 200 pounds in the last, I think, 3 years. But he is smoking ribs tomorrow, the Bayou Bear. So we're going to put 5 pounds back on that now small son of a bitch. All right? He needs to eat some ribs. So he's smoking ribs tomorrow. So that's how I'm watching college football tomorrow.
Well, you were talking with Dion Dawkins about how you lost weight and how he was pushing you. So maybe you have to be on the phone with Doc to kind of make sure you're not eating too much off of that grill.
Yeah, I can afford to have a slob weekend.
No, you look great. It might
That's
be
the nicest
easy to
thing
overlook.
Santa's ever said about me.
It's the only nice thing I've ever said about you. It might be easy to overlook number 13 South Carolina against Virginia Tech. The Gamecocks are led by Heisman hopeful Lenora Sellers, who, when you look back at his stats, actually finished 67th in Division I with just 2,500 passing yards, 47th with 14 touchdowns. He also had 7 picks, though he did obviously add 600 yards and 7 scores on the ground. Onside, offside, Lenora Sellers has the biggest bust potential of the big-name Heisman quarterbacks entering this season.
I'm just going to throw out 2. DJ Lagway, I think, has bigger bust potential. And then also, the standard is so damn high for Arch Manning. Arch could be good and people could still view him as a bust. So I'm not going to say it's Lenora Sellers. Offside.
Offside. Now, another big-name game this weekend, Pitt's national champion runner-up.
And also one more, Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah.
I know you're going to ask me about LSU in a bit, but if he doesn't make the playoff, that's a bust. And I don't think LSU's making the playoff. So anyway, you could continue. Proceed.
Now, obviously, the big game, Pitt's national champion runner-up Notre Dame taking on number 10 Miami and their new quarterback Carson Beck. The Irish turn to C.J. Carr to run the ship while Heisman hopeful Jeremiah Love will tote the rock in the backfield. Onside, offside, anything short of the Final Four will be a disappointment for Notre Dame.
That is onside. They made the national championship game last year. I have higher expectations for C.J. Carr than the quarterback they had last year in Riley Leonard. I know they lost some defensive players. They have an unbelievable defense. Xavier Watts was phenomenal the last few years for them, and he's no longer there. But you get Jeremiah Love now with more on his plate. C.J. Carr, I think, will be better long-term than Riley Leonard. So, yeah, I think anything short of the Final Four will be a disappointing year for Notre Dame on sides.
Now, we did mention briefly that LSU-Clemson matchup, the battle for Death Valley. Who's the real Death Valley? But LSU starting safety A.J. Halsey has been suspended for the first half after being ejected from the final game last season for fighting. Now, the rules clearly state that a player ejected in the second half of a game is automatically suspended for the first half of the next game, even if it's the last game of the season. But LSU reportedly didn't know about the suspension until this week, and neither did the SEC. And a team spokesman accused Clemson of ratting out Halsey to the NCAA. So onside, offside, if true, you're okay with Clemson contacting the NCAA to get Halsey suspended.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
This guy got ejected at the end of the season. So it carries. How did no one realize? How did the program not realize it? How did the NCAA not realize it?
It was something that seemed like it was going to slip through the cracks, and then Clemson was like, wait, hold on a second. Allegedly.
Yeah, I have no problem then with that. That's if, like, for example, if Michael Samter got suspended, and then let's say he had 3 weeks off and he came back from his vacation and he didn't serve his suspension, and I reminded the bosses, hey, you may want to suspend the Samter guy. You guys did so. I'd have no problem with that. It's a little ratty, but you're trying to win the game. So if true, you're okay with Clemson contacting the NCAA to get him suspended? Absolutely. On sides. Good job there by Dabo.
Now, speaking of LSU, Brian Kelly and the Tigers got some good news off the field before the big game this weekend. The Tigers flipped 5-star wideout Tristan Keys, the number 2 receiver in the 2026 class, from SEC rival Tennessee. Onside, offside, LSU will be a better program than Tennessee over the next 5 years.
So real quickly, so this player, by the way, just going back, he was at Houston last year. So maybe through the transfer portal, it's like they forgot that carries. You go to a new school and you still got to serve the suspension. That's savage. So the question here was LSU will be a better program than Tennessee over the next 5 years. So LSU, since 2000, has won 3 national championships. And they've won 3 national championships, 3 different coaches. Now, I don't think Brian Kelly's going to win a national championship at LSU. Eventually, you may get rid of him. Josh Heupel is a good coach. I think his ceiling is just making the playoff. And then I don't expect them to ever be a national championship contender anytime soon. So even though I respect what Josh Heupel has done at Tennessee, I still think the ceiling is higher for LSU. So I do believe LSU will be a better program than Tennessee over the next 5 years. Onsides.
All right, we'll do one last quick one. The MVP races in baseball are heating up as Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh battle in the AL.
Dumper.
And actually, Aaron Rodgers has passed Cal Raleigh in the odds to win the MVP in the AL.
Aaron Judge, you mean?
Did I say Rodgers?
Yeah.
Judge has passed Cal Raleigh in the AL in the odds category. Over in the NL, though, Shohei Ohtani has been the huge favorite to win his 4th MVP all season long, but his main competition had himself a night last night. Kyle Schwarber, who entered the game at plus 900 to win the award, became just the 21st player ever to smack 4 home runs in a game and now sits at plus 500, while Ohtani moved from minus 1,000 to minus 900. So onside, offside, Schwarber can still win NL MVP if he stays scorching hot the rest of the regular season.
I'm going offside. Francisco Lindor carried the Mets last year, and I thought he should have won the award because he was more valuable than what Ohtani was doing for the Dodgers. With that being said, Ohtani won the award. So I think the same thing is going to apply here. So you asked me, Schwarber could still win the NL MVP if he could stay scorching hot on fire the rest of the regular season. I am going offside.
Offside.
We'll come on back. What to watch for this weekend in college football, we tell you next. Update time first. Here's Petey Mac, Pete McCarthy.
Infinity Sports Network Sports Flash.
Well, Zach, at the U.S. Open, Carlos Alcaraz advances despite a misstep that required medical attention on his right knee. After a brief timeout, Alcaraz finished off a win in straight sets. American Ben Shelton had to retire from his match against Adrian Mannarino due to a shoulder injury. Fellow American Francis Tiafoe has his hands full with Jan-Lennard Struff. Tiafoe losing each of the first 2 sets, and they are now in a tiebreak in the 3rd set. American Jessica Pegula advances to the 4th round. 17 Jasmine Paolini is eliminated. The biggest names going tonight: Novak Djokovic, Taylor Fritz, and Arina Sabalenka. NFL news: the Patriots are releasing veteran safety Jabril Peppers. Deion Sanders leading a Colorado team without Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter. The Buffaloes opening up as a home dog to Georgia Tech at 8 Eastern. At the same time, Auburn is taking on Baylor in Waco, Texas. The only ranked team in action tonight is number 12 Illinois taking on Western Illinois. I'm Pete McCarthy.
This is Maggie Gray for the Maggie and Perloff Show. Get all your sports talk here on the Infinity Sports Network. Always available on the free Odyssey app.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Hey, this is Howie. And this is Nick. We're the Backstreet Boys, and you're listening to the Zach Gelb Show. And guess what? Zach is back. All right.
He's live. He's nationwide. This is the Zach Gelb Show.
Yo, it is the Zach Gelb Show on the Infinity Sports Network. Can I ask you a question, Samter? Is Gresh connected to our system yet? Just wondering. So Gresh could hear us right now. Is that accurate? Like Gresh could hear me right now? Yes, no, maybe so. Is
He's
he there?
connected, but he's actually not sitting at his spot right now.
Good. Double check right there. Ask him again. Be like, Gresh, can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Gresh. No? It's not responding? All right. I told Botcher to play the Backstreet Boys coming back for Gresh tonight during one of their breaks. Because Gresh hates this song. He probably took his headphones off and left the room just because he knew this was coming. So the joke's on you, motherfather. Is he now listening or no? Okay, good. It's time to answer Ask the Pros question of the day. It's brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Connor in Michigan? Is that Stallions? What's the college football story you're most excited about this weekend, Zach? You can submit a question by tweeting at INFSportsNet or at Zach Gelb using the hashtags AskThePros. Think O'Reilly Auto Parts. Ferrari car care needs get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's obviously Arch Manning. I just want to see what it looks like. Arch Manning going into the shoe up against the defending national champions. Please, please, please. I just can't wait for that game. And you look at the storylines this weekend. Tonight, you got a good game. Haynes King, who I think is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the country. He's going to be going up against Coach Prime Squad. It's a new look Coach Prime Squad because there is no more Travis Hunter. There is no more Shedeur Sanders. So that's something to monitor this weekend. Then after that, you get into the games tomorrow. It's Arch Manning up against Julian Sayin and Ohio State. The best player in the country will be in that game, and Jeremiah Smith. Oh, boy. I see the line has now moved where Texas is now a favorite. They were an underdog, number one team in the country. The line has moved where now Texas is a slight favorite. Man, this is such a tough game to pick. I bet Texas. My gut and my brain is just having a fight. Having a big fight. A big, fat fight. Because my brain is telling me Ohio State, but my gut is telling me Texas. And I'm not really an analytics guy, so I went with my big, thick gut. Oh, it's not as big and thick anymore. I may have to change the material there. Then at 3:30, I want to see Alabama smother. I want to see them smother the Seminoles. It's nothing against Florida State. It's nothing against Mike Norvell. It's nothing against Terrence Knight and Pot Roast, who's now on their coaching staff, and I like. And the defensive coordinator coming up from Nebraska, Tony White. It's nothing against those guys. I like Gus Malzahn too. But Thomas Castellanos needs to get a slice of humble pie. Because he's been saying a lot of stuff about Alabama, and it's time for Kalen DeBoer to say, hey, we're still Alabama. So cover the spread. Then Saturday night, you got Dabo Swinney up against Brian Kelly with the Tiger family. And when I look at this matchup, hey, Brian Kelly, go finally win an opening matchup game. Opening week game, finally go do it. I like Clemson in that one. Kate Klubnik and company, they are one of the more talented teams in the country, and I do think they'll be in the national championship game where they will lose to Alabama. And then outside of that, we talked about Coach Prime tonight. You fast forward and turn the page to Sunday. Man, big spot for Carson Beck. Miami, Notre Dame. Big spot for C.J. Carr, the Notre Dame quarterback. And then on Monday night, you got Bill Belichick with his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, on the sideline, who's filing for trademarks about being a gold digger. And she's trying to get a victory for that program. Do you think she'll get a game ball, Samter? If UNC defeats TCU, do you think Jordan Hudson gets a game ball from Bill Belichick? I want to give a game ball to Jordan. She does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Get your head out of the gutter. I'm not talking about in the bedroom where we get freaky with it. I'm talking about from an administration standpoint with UNC and Chapel Bill. So I want to give Jordan a game ball. May not be the only game ball she gets tonight, but she's at least getting one game ball right there.
Oh, come on.
What did you think the other one was?
No, I'm hearing what you're saying. It's just, come on.
What, a game ball?
No.
I didn't say balls. I said game ball.
Yeah, you said she's going to get a game ball tonight, and then you said, getting freaky in the bedroom.
No.
I don't need to think about Bill Belichick shirtless walking out of an Airbnb after a night with Jordan Hudson.
I have been respectful about Jordan Hudson. It creeps me out that she's dating Bill Belichick. When you file for a trademark about being a gold digger for a jewelry chain, I think that makes everything fair game. Like, there is no more sympathy or any empathy or, we'll treat her with kitty gloves and we'll put the floaties on for Jordan Hudson when you have a trademark for gold digging. Like, enough. But Bill Belichick's a massive storyline on Monday. And most of us are off Monday. So then Tuesday rolls around, and that will be the most current thing. So, Bill, you better win that game. Or else you're going to need Jordan Hudson. And maybe even Mike Lombardi will help you out with this, too. I'll make you a little hot cocoa and, some milk and some cookies. And really coddle you a little bit. And I'm a Belichick guy. But him at UNC, it's not him at UNC that's obnoxious. It's what he's allowing to have happen at UNC. And the way that Jordan Hudson is just making him basically look like a mascot right now. And then you know what? On the show this way. It's the final broadcast for the legendary Lee Corso. And you'll see that on tomorrow on ESPN. Even Fox is going to simulcast. They got permission from ESPN to simulcast the last segment, the last headgear pick between Texas and Ohio State. Lee Corso is the definition of entertainment. Lee Corso is someone that we've all grew up, or we all spent time watching. You tune in College Game Day every Sunday. He's there, and he was fun. You tuned into that show at the end to see the headgear pick. what headgear is Lee Corso going to rock? What is he going to support? And there's a lot of legendary calls with Lee Corso. When he called that little child the M word. When he said, puck it, and then made the prediction, firing off the guns and all that stuff. So Lee Corso is an absolute legend. It's the last dance for him on the ESPN, and you'll see that last headgear pick tomorrow. And I don't even care if he gets the pick right or wrong. From an entertainment perspective, I want to see him antagonize the crowd one last time. Pretend like you're picking Ohio State, right? Put the headgear on for Ohio State and then throw it and say, puck it again or luck it again. And then you go with Texas. So salute to one of the great entertainers in the history of college football, someone that gave so many years as a coach and then as a great analyst and someone that you watched each and every Sunday in the legendary, and I mean legendary, Lee Corso. That will do it for the Zach Gelb Show on the Infinity Sports Network. We will be back on Tuesday. Have a fun but safe Labor Day weekend. And Tuesday, we really get rocking and rolling. We got college football to recap. We got the NFL to preview. And you never know what else is going to happen that week. We'll see what other trades happen. We'll see what other big football news we get. You never know what transpires this time of the year. But we're going to have awesome shows for you the entirety of football season. Connor, thank you. Samter, thank you. Pete McCarthy, thank you as well. And most importantly, big thanks to each and every one of you for tuning on in. Also, big thanks to Sean Sharif for joining us today, Keith Bullock, and my pal, Dion Dawkins. Have fun, everybody. Talk to you on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time. Make sure you follow me on social media at Zach Gelb, Twitter and Instagram, ZACHGELB. We out. Bye-bye. Peace.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.